Welcome to Late Night with BS3. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We have a great show planned for tonight. We'll be recapping the CYM, Creating Your Mind's Undiscovered League Vegas trip that I had earlier a couple weeks ago. Also, we'll be having our monthly style segment with Tracy Killian Styling. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But another great show on tap. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. We are live right now on a variety of different platforms. So wherever you're tuning in at, you'll be able to find this content. So let me go ahead and go down the list. We're live right now on Roku TV, BS3 TV on Roku. We're also live on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're tuning in over there. And then also, we are live on Twitter. We are also live on Facebook, and we are live on Twitch as well. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, share wherever you're tuning in. Share. Hit that share button wherever it is. It is greatly appreciated. And also, we thank you, everyone, for the support that people supporting BS3 Network. We appreciate that support as well. And whatever show that you may be tuning into, we're live. We got shows coming on every single day, every single night. So we appreciate your support. I can't say that enough. So I had a great opportunity. And first of all, I want to say thank you to Dr. Schur and also Mathis Crowder for their support, being able to go to Vegas with CYM, which is Creating Young Minds. And during that time, I was able to cover some of their basketball that they had, and which I thought it was great. I thought it was a great opportunity, and I'm appreciative. This was actually my first time to Vegas, believe it or not. I know a lot of people have made multiple trips to Vegas, but this was actually my first time. I enjoyed it, and being able to see some of the players. You know, I've watched a lot of this Undiscovered League and a lot of these players from afar, but this was really like the first time meeting them, seeing a lot of them in person, getting to see what they're about and you know what they do, what their passions are. So it was really, I feel like it was a really good experience. And excuse me, just kind of sharing out the show a little bit to get it out to all the different groups and platforms and all that while I'm talking, doing a little bit of multitasking. But it was a great experience being able to go. Also, while I was there, I'll say this as well, was able to go to the NBA Summer League. So we're going to chop some of that up on tonight's show. Also, like I said, we got the Tracy Killian style segment that'll be coming up here in about 25 minutes or so. If you're tuning in the Facebook group, there is a link that you have to click so we can see who you are. I'm going to go ahead and post that link. But shout out to Courtney Harden. He's watching. Thank you for tuning in. He did not have a show today, but the great thing about Courtney is he always has shows going on. So any point of the week, if you think you might have missed one of his shows, you can definitely check it out. It's he's got shows really coming out almost every single day, and love his content. Thankful that he's a part of BS3 Network, and we have a variety of shows. And I'm going to be playing some promos tonight as well. But I just posted that in the chat. So for those of you that are watching in the Facebook group, please go ahead and click that link. You have to give permission to restream so that we're able to see who you are. All right, so the Vegas Pro Camp. If you're looking for information for Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League, I'm going to put the links down below here, creatingyoungminds.org, cymtv.org, 2 areas. You'll be able to get more information on what this organization does. So we had 2 days. So it was July 11th and 12th. Flew in on Sunday, Monday came into the arena, which was at the Chuck Minker Sports Complex that is in Las Vegas. And one thing I did not realize, I'll say this: Las Vegas is dry heat. It's a lot hotter than what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it was going to be that hot. I thought it was going to be, just kind of like Texas heat, which Texas heat is hot too. Don't get me wrong, but that Vegas heat was just dry. It wasn't any humidity. It was just dry heat, basically like in the desert. So those of you that have been in Vegas, you probably know what I'm talking about. But it was like 112 pretty much every single day. That's pretty much about what it was, and it was no doubt, and nothing shy of 112 pretty much every single day. But it was a great experience, a great opportunity to be able to go there and cover and also check out some other things as well. So they had 2 games, and with this particular league, what they do is everybody kind of comes in, everybody gets a jersey, and they split up kind of in colors. So the first game was Team Blue versus Team Yellow. And what I want you to do is if you go to CYMTV.org, or if you have a Roku or Amazon, they actually have a channel, CYM TV, and you'll be able to check out some of the content there. And also, just to brag on myself a little bit, I did do some commentating, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I think, I got a little bit of a bug now in doing some commentating. So looking forward to hopefully being able to do some of that in the future. And it was definitely fun. I was trying to think of some tag words and some taglines and stuff to say to kind of get used to doing some commentating, but it was really fun. So if you have a Roku TV, or if you have a Amazon, CYM TV, or you can go to CYMTV.org, and it's $20 a month, and you get unlimited access to all of the content that's on there. So you'll be able to check out from the Vegas camp when I think they already have those up on the channel, but you'll be able to check out some commentating, from yours truly. So, but we had Team Blue versus Team Yellow. Team Blue coached by none other than Mathis Crowder. Mathis Crowder is a very passionate coach. He's very passionate about what he does, really passionate about getting these guys opportunities, but also getting them ready for the next step, because the next step in their career, it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be pretty. So he's very upfront, very honest with the players. Sometimes it is brutal honesty, but I think what he does is very unique in being able to tell people the truth. So we had Team Blue versus Team Yellow. This was a close game. It became a close game, but it was really a blowout. 25-9 in the first quarter, 48-28 in the second, 68-34 in the third, and then 88-63. Team Blue winning. Team Blue was coached, like I said, by Mathis Crowder. Team Yellow, let me get up got my stat sheets and everything here. Team Yellow was coached by Coach Mark Anderson. He's the head coach of the Owensboro Thoroughbreds in the TBL, and also Cannon Gassman. And Cannon Gassman is a pro in NCAA player development guy. He's a FIBA ABA coach. Check out his website, Gassman Training. Training that translates to the game. But Team Yellow lost. Like I said, 88-63. Let's get to the stat sheet here. And that was the first game that was on Monday the 11th. Trenton Washington, great opportunity meeting him. His girlfriend was actually working the camera while I was doing the commentating. She did a really good job. Trenton Washington had 17 on the day. Ruben Acosta had an opportunity to meet him, sit down and talk with him. Really, really good guy. Got his head, on the shoulders, really trying to build his game, development his game. We were able to go out for a meal. So definitely, he has a fan in me. Definitely looking forward to watching his career and any new opportunities that he has. And these guys are really good people. And like I said, was able to meet them, was able to sit down with some of them, break bread with them, have a meal with them. So Ruben Acosta had 5 points. His big part of his game is being a leader and assists. So he had 13 assists on the day. Jonathan Daniels was able to meet him as well. He had 10 points, 7 rebounds, really proficient with his play. Joshua Bill at 17, young cat, but man, was getting after it. KT Boachman was able to meet him as well. He had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And also Austin Wire at a double-double, 20 and 10. And I want to give a shout out to Charlie Gutierrez. He didn't have any points, but he's a 17-year-old. And then his brother was also playing. His brother, let me get to his name. It's Ivan Gutierrez, which is 15. So these were 17 and 15 and playing with grown men, 20 up to 30-year-olds. And they were giving their all. I really wanted to make sure I came on here and gave them their props because they were really getting after it. So 88-63, like I said, Team Blue. Going over to the yellow side, Ivan Crossan with 11. David Vasquez with 17. He was all over the floor. I want to give him his props too. Donnell Ward with 11. And Nicholas Roberts with 10. Points off of turnovers. That's one of the biggest things when it comes to this organization and when it comes to a Mathis Crowder coach team. 31-5 points off of turnovers, 46-32 points in the paint, 36-17 fast break points. They're definitely going to be winning that really at all opportunities. So that was game number 1, and we got stats. We do have not stats. We got stats, but also we got some highlights as well we're going to get to, and I'm going to give a couple shout-outs on that as well. So that was the first game, 88-63. That was on July 11th. And then the next game was Team Red versus Team Steel. And they play a running clock, so it's not – you might not see high-scoring games because they're just letting the clock run and they're continuing to go throughout. But like I said, the Gutierrez brothers, Ivan, which is the younger one, 15, and then Charlie, big shout out to him, 17-year-old. So Team Red and Team Steel, this was actually a pretty close game. And also throughout this camp, they had some pretty big name people in the building. Cliff Livingston, he played with the Bulls, 2-time champion. He was the head coach. He is the head coach of the Kokomo Bobcats. This is in the TBL, the Basketball League. That's what the TBL stands for. Also, there was a guy named Brandon, BNet Sports Management. He also does some work with the Las Vegas Aces. And I got a highlight reel that he put together. I'll give you a promo for that. And you can go to his YouTube and you can check out the full length promo, and we'll see that here in a minute. We also had Jason Maxill, who played in the NBA for the Detroit Pistons. He also played in the Big Three. He was there for the summer league. He was coaching the Pistons. So that was it was good to see him, good to meet him. Paul McKeskey, he coached Team Red. He's a 6-year NBA coach, 7-year NBA G League head coach, 8-year assistant and international coach and scout. He's been he's put in a lot of work into the game of basketball. And then Coach Armando, he's the inventor of Straight Shot. He's also the former head coach of the Little Rock Lightning, and he's an international coach. So you can check out his product. It's called Straight Shot, and you can get more information on that. So Team Red versus Team Steel, 12-14, pretty close early on in the first quarter, 23-33 at the end of the second quarter, 33-43 at the end of the third. That's when Team Steel started to pull away. And then Team Steel wins 60-40. Team Steel, once again, coached by Armando Villanueva. And then Team Red was coached by Paul McKeskey and Jai Stedman. He's the assistant coach of the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. So a lot of people in the building, a lot of names that have connections and also have connections to the TBL, which is the Basketball League. So that was the second game on the 11th, and Team Steel wins that one. Points off of turnovers was tied 19-19. That's a really good thing to see. Fast break points was also tied 22-22, but I think the deciding factor was points in the paint, which was 50-24. And going over the stats, Ivan Gutierrez, younger brother, 15 years old, like I said, if you didn't hear me say that, balling with grown men. He had 4 points. KT Boatman with 10. Richard Turner, Big Rich, with 12. Charlie Gutierrez, the older brother, 17-year-old, had 17 points on the day. But for Team Steel, the man in the paint, the guy that I think showed up and made a huge difference was Malik Miller. He dropped 30. He was the player of day one. And Chika Ube with 10 and his brother Chindu Ube with 7. And it got chippy. It got chippy with these twin brothers. I think they're really passionate about the game of basketball. And it got chippy on the second day, which I'll talk more about that. But let's get to some highlights. We also have a promo for one of our BS3 Network shows for tomorrow. So let's check out this highlight tape of Malik Miller, player of the day for day one.
BS3 Network presentation. Wedding nuptials. A special time in a married couple's life. We celebrate the wedding anniversaries of two co-hosts of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, and they will tell us what made the wedding day so beautiful. They will also talk about what was going through their minds as they said I do to their wives. They will demonstrate to us all. Hold up, wait a minute. You mean to tell me my boys ain't gonna chop it up and talk trash like Guru said? Man, this Join the Guru, K-Peeps, and their wives as they all attempt to answer the question, what were y'all thinking? On a special episode of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. Live this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
All right, welcome back. Shout out to Wayne McDaniel for that voiceover work. So we got a great show coming up tomorrow for the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast. It'll be right here on all of the BS3 Network platforms, also on BS3 TV. So make sure to check that out. So the player of day one was Malik Miller, 30 points. As you can see in the highlights, he was just, it was beautiful. It was like poetry in motion, you know, the saying that people say. And he was just getting after it. So that was day one. Let's go and get into day two, which we'll get to the first game, which is Team Blue versus Team Steel. Again, Team Blue, coached by Mathis Crowder, is very, very, like I said, passionate about what he does. And he really pushes his players to play full court defense. He pushes his player to get back on defense, fast breaks, playing the full court. This is the game where it got a little bit chippy, but it was 14-5 in the first, somewhat close, 48-21 in the second. became to not be close. 60-33 in the third, and then 83-47. Basically, a 40-point blowout. That was a blowout game. But it did get a little chippy between the Ube twins and Coach Crowder. I think that was needed at that point, just to calm everybody down, everybody go to their sides. But it was I think a very passionate game. They were really pushing it up and down the floor every single game. So top leader in points, KT Bochum with 23. Austin Wire with 18 and 4 rebounds. Joshua Bill with 13. Ruben Acosta with 7. Jonathan Daniels with 9. And then Trenton Washington with 7. Over on the team steal side, leading scorer was McLeon Charles. And Leon Charles was putting in work. He's out of Pensacola. And he was, I would say he's a volume shooter. He was 8 for 15. And he was 3 for 6 from the 3. Chika Ube with 11, his brother Shindu with 5, and then Roman Davis with 7. And it definitely got chippy in that game. I think that was needed. But after in the third quarter, it was pretty much a runaway blowout. Points from turnovers, 29-6. Again, Team Blue doing what they do best. Points in the paint, 52-20. That's a big contribution by Austin Wire. That's the main one you can talk about. And then also 34-4 fast break points and 11 off the bench points from Team Blue, and that was contributed to Jonathan Daniels and Charlie Gutierrez, and that was pretty much a runaway. So really no conversation and no doubt in that one. And that was 83-47. Big time win for Team Blue, like I said, coached by Mathis Crowder. Anytime his team's on the floor, they're going to play up and down, physical type basketball. And that's really what they do best. So that was the first game for day 2. Also on day 2, I was able to go to the NBA Summer League. And I thought that was a great opportunity, never been. Was able to watch some of the young talent coming up, seeing the Lakers versus the Clippers. That was towards the end of that game. Also seeing the Warriors G League team, which the Warriors G League team is really filled with stars, honestly. Wiseman, it's good to see him playing. And then you also had Moses Moody. Good to see him playing. But the Warriors look good. Their future looks good. Then also being able to see the Mavs. So they had 2 arenas inside of basically the UNLV stadium. And so they had 2 courts, the smaller one, the bigger one. The Mavs were playing the Suns. The Mavs did not look good at all. It was actually a shame how they were looking. Now, obviously, this is a young team. Mark Cuban was in the building. There was also Jason Kidd was in the building watching the young talent. But they did not look good at all. I don't think this means anything for the actual team, but this is the pool of talent that we maybe have to pull from, didn't look that great. The first round draft, the second round pick, Jaden, drawing a blank on his name. Yeah, Jaden Hardy. He had some flashes of some good things that I've seen, but there was actually a player that Jarrett Harding is actually a guy I want to give a quick shout out to. He's on the Summer League team out of Weber State. He had, I think, more of an impact than Jaden Hardy did. So it's not a horrible thing. It's just the Summer League, but the talent is definitely there for some of the teams. So it was great to be there, and I'm appreciative of that experience as well. So before we get into the second game for day 2, let's get to a brief commercial break, and we will be right back.
The BS3 Network presentation.
I want to show that attainability. I want to show the accessibility of this kind of lifestyle. from social media to having conversations with friends and family, you always have to put on face and say face.
What brings a smile to my face is the one person that totally believes in me, and that's my beautiful wife, Jody.
I just had to stop because I didn't value myself. I didn't love myself. And it's like, I have to learn to love myself.
Changing the world one conversation at a time. This is Revelations.
Big shout out to my guy Cole Johnson, who put together the promos that I just played. He put together both of those. Knucklehead Chronicles podcast coming up tomorrow at 2:30 Central. You can find that on all BS3 network platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, as well as the Roku channel. And then Revelations, which you just seen that promo. Revelations is on BS3 TV. It'll be available on demand. And there's 2 episodes up there. There'll be a new one coming up this week. And Cole Johnson does a great job. So big shout out to him and what he's doing for the network. Also what he does for another show, Snowman in the Morning, which I have a promo for that as well, which I'll play that probably towards the end of the show. But he is, this guy is amazing. And I don't say amazing lightly. He is amazing when it comes to the promos and when it comes to putting together packages and highlights and all of those different things. He is literally a beast when it comes to that. All right, so let's get to the second game, Team Red versus Team Yellow. And we got Team Red. This was actually a pretty close game. This was the closest game of the 2 days that I was there in Vegas. We got another comment. I wanted to make sure I say who this is. That let's see. Oh, we got a bunch of comments over here in the BS3 network group chat. I can't see who you are. If you could click that link, it says chat.restream.io/FB, so I can see who you are. But Courtney Harden, also my boy Chris Hart, aka Wood. And we go back since college. We was college roommates. And big shout out to you. Says thank you for tuning in. Jason Fearman, what's up, my man? Thank you for tuning in. Also, we got my man Clear Lanes, hip hop artist. He's tuning in the group, in the Facebook group. So we appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the support. Please click that link so I can see who you are. If not, I will just go to the Facebook page, which is fine as well. All right, so Team Red and Team Yellow. This is in the CYM, which is Creating Young Minds, Undiscovered League. And they had a Vegas Pro Camp on July 11th and the 12th. So 15-13 at the end of the first, 30-36 at the end of the second, 54-57 at the end of the third, and 84-90. Team Yellow ends up winning that game. And I want to say this as well. Clear Lanes and Brandon McElvey, they have a podcast that's on BS3 TV. It's called Be in Your Lane. Obviously, see Clear Lanes. Brandon McElvey goes by B or BMac. And Brandon was actually in Vegas right as I was leaving. And he was going to be playing in this Undiscovered League Pro Camp, but we kind of missed pass. But make sure to check out their podcast, which is available right now on BS3 TV on Roku. If you have a Roku TV or device, you can find that there. Also, you can go to BS3 TV Live. BS3 TV Live. You see it scrolling down at the bottom of the screen. If you don't have a Roku TV or device, you can go to that website. All of the content that's on the Roku channel is on BS3 TV Live. All right, so Team Yellow getting the win, and that was a close one. That was the closest one of those 2 days. And getting to the stat sheet, Richard Turner with 21, Jalen Crossland and his brother Ivan Crossland, they both played. He had 15. Charlie Gutierrez, which, like I said, I believe Charlie is the younger brother. No, he's the older brother, 17. His family was in the building. That was really great, great sight to see. Javante Cook had 28 on the day. Going over to the other side, David Vasquez with 20. Dano Ward with 16, but Dion Lyle with 42 on the day. He was definitely the player of day 2, and I'll have he'll be in this highlight package that was put together by a great guy that I was able to meet, Brandon. And the name of his production company is Off the Lens Production. And you can find that on YouTube. You can find the full package. But I'll get to that promo here in that highlight package here in a minute. But points on for turnovers was close, 10-9. Points in the paint, 56 by Team Yellow to 38 Team Red. And that 56 was big by Dion Lyle and I would say Donnell Ward, probably were the guys down in the paint. Also, second chance points, 12-8. Fast break points, 36-24. And bench points was the biggest stat, 40-4. And that was really a major part, Dion Lyle. So Team Yellow getting the win, 90-84. That was the second day, and Dion Lyle was the player of day 2. So let's get to this highlight package. This is done by Off the Lens Production. You can check out the full. He's got a 10-minute highlights reel and package that he put together, did an amazing job. He also made this graphic that's behind me as well. If you go to Off the Lens Production on YouTube, you'll be able to find the full package. Let's get to this highlight reel. And this is for the full 2 days. And he did a really great job. So let's get to that right now.
Consistency and discipline on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Commitment, consistency, and discipline.
Yes, we're sitting in the back.
ATL, Jacob, ATL, Jacob.
Welcome back. Off the Lens Productions. Check that out on YouTube. Hopefully you guys can see that fine. On my screen, it was looking a little weird, but hopefully you can see that fine. So that was my experience in Vegas for the Creating Young Minds Vegas Pro Camp. And it was a great experience. Did some commentating as well, like I said. So go to the website, cymtv.org. Log in. It's $20 a month. You'll be able to check out some of the commentating that I did for those 2 days. So a couple of other things I want to mention here real quick. DeAndre Lynch, he was one of the players over these 2 days, played in the TBL for the Rockwall 76ers. Also had Roman Davis. He played at UC Berkeley. We also had Jalen Crossan, played at Texas A&M. Javante Cook, shout out to my HBCU people. He played at Winston-Salem, HBCU, and CIAA Player of the Week. 1,220 point scorer. So big shout out to him. We also had Ivan Crossan, played at Sam Houston. David Vasquez played at El Salvador, LMB Santa Ana. Dion Lyle played in the TBL, Tijuana, really played all over. And then Romelio Jones, who played at Benedict College. So great opportunity. We were able to meet quite a few people. make some connections. Also met an NBA, NFL agent out there as well. So hopefully we're going to be looking to get him on the show in the future. So we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get into the Tracy Killian style segment. We'll talk about some summer looks. Also, we'll talk about some NFL storylines. We got some big storylines as training camp has already kicked off. So let's check out another promo. This one is for one of our shows that comes on during the week. So check this out.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Another great promo by Cole Johnson. Gonna have to get Cole Johnson on the staff full time at BS3, but doing a great job, man. So let's go to our next segment. We're live right now on Late Night with BS3. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we're gonna go to our next segment, the Tracy Killian style segment. Let me switch up my background as we kind of change into a different segment and different topic here. The one and only Tracy Killian. What's going on?
What's up, cuz?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Trying to stay cool in this Cali heat, you know.
Yep. I hear you. It's probably 90 degrees or higher right now outside. Here in Dallas, Fort Worth. So I definitely know what you feeling and how you feeling, because we getting all that and more. So I got you. But glad to get you on the show. Seemed like it's been a little while since you've been on, but hopefully you're doing well. Family's doing well. Baby's doing well too.
Oh yeah! Shout out to my mom. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday, moms! And then shout out to the BS3 Network. Those were some great promos.
Yeah, my man Cole Johnson, man, he does an amazing job, and he volunteered. We didn't ask. He really just said, "Hey, you guys need some promos done. I can go ahead and put it together for you." And he's been doing pretty much a great job since he came in. He's going to be bringing 3 podcasts coming over to the network. So, but let's kind of get into this style segment. As you can see, we got more of the summer look going on. It's hot inside and outside, so definitely talk about the look, what you're rocking, and also the look that you put together for me.
Yeah, so for myself, again, kind of bridging out, getting out my old school days of the baggy shirts, going with the more tight fit polo. It's probably one of the smallest shirts I've probably ever worn in my life with the sleeve wise, but I'm feeling it. It looks nice, keeping me nice and cool today. Want the linen pants and my blue Nikes I've been rocking for the summer. Definitely getting those bright colors going and repping my Carolina blue. gotta support the home squad.
Definitely got to do that. I'm also rocking a nice shirt, very loose fitting, not that tight. But with the flannel pants, I'll have a picture posted probably this weekend of the look, so you can see the full length. But yeah, man, I'm definitely feeling. I don't think I've ever worn any flannel pants at all. So
the linen, right? Cause the linen, right?
Linen, yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say flannel's about to be hot.
Linen.
Yeah, we trying to get that. Yeah, we're trying to get that breathability going.
Right.
We got that nice flowy fabric. Good for the beach. Good for the tropical weather. Definitely nice for either of our environments either.
Definitely. Yeah, you're right. Let me speak that right. But yeah, man, it definitely feels comfortable, and definitely something to go out on a weekend day, even for a brunch. Go out to a summer event. You got a picnic, you got a family picnic, you got a family reunion. This will be perfect for that. So definitely feeling what you put together as well, and I'll have some the Cole Haans, the white Cole Haan shoes that I'll be wearing that you'll be able to see, in the full length view of what I'll be rocking. So yeah, man, definitely feeling it. And I think this is obviously big right now for summer, being that it is hot. Like I was talking about Vegas, I didn't realize how hot Vegas was. So this will be another perfect fit for a Vegas trip, because it's 100 and, like I said, 112. The minute that we got off the airport, and people are outside smoking. I'm like, it's 112 out here. You smoking a cigarette. You need to do that when you get to your hotel room, so you're not burning out here and smoking a cigarette at the same time. So
yeah, I need to get some more of that linen for you before you went out to that Vegas trip.
Yeah. I was wearing shorts pretty much every day, except when I was going to the gym. I had some the chinos on, rocking the chinos, the black and the gray chinos. So those aren't hot at all. A nice khaki attire. So talk about, if you want to mention any other aspects of the summer look that you would point out or want to shout out to people.
Oh yeah, so we're getting in the hot days. This is the middle of the summer.
Yep.
It's not cooling off anytime soon, so this is definitely a time to get the rest of that stuff out of your closet that you're not going to be wearing in the winter and the fall. Go with the tighter fitting shirt, get you some breathability. Baggy stuff could work, but it's going to trap the heat on you, so you want to keep everything nice and flowing, not too tight. Probably stay away from the jeans. Personally, I can't do the sandals, but this is the time of year. Yeah, this is the time of the year to get those out of the closet if that's what you like to wear. But make sure you clip the toenails and all that if you're gonna wear some sandals.
I'm definitely not a sandals guy at all. You probably won't ever catch me in sandals, besides some of those kind of slide-in sandals. I'm just going to the store real quick, but I might have some socks on. I'm not really that cat on the sandals, but I hear you though. I hear you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that time of year though. So switch it up a little bit, especially if you feel like you haven't worn something that would be appropriate for this time of year. This is the time to start doing it. You won't have a lot more time to wear any of this stuff, so go digging in the closet and find that stuff that you had tucked away for a couple months and get it out.
Yeah. It's definitely that time. Definitely that time to make sure you got something light on, because the heat is not going to be nice. Once that heat out there does not discriminate. It don't matter if you light skin or dark skin. It don't matter. It don't matter. Put some sunscreen on too if you one of the lighter folks that's out there tuning in.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way. I thought I can't get sunburned, but I guess I could.
Yeah, surprise. But yeah, man, it's definitely is a good look that I'm definitely gonna be rocking for the rest of the summer, because this next month, basically, it's gonna be 100 degree temperatures throughout this entire next month. Probably going a little bit into September. You may still get some of that before we get to fall. So you want to definitely keep your look light. Make sure you have something that's not going to be too well. Yeah, what are some things people should stay away from? Obviously, corduroys or anything thick. But talk about some things people should stay away from right now.
Oh yeah, I definitely wouldn't be trying to wear any type of sweater right now, but unless it's nighttime or early morning. But I'm still seeing people walking around with sweaters on, beanies. It's California. People be wearing beanies in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you got to give yourself a heat stroke. But people doing it. So yeah, that's the stuff I'll really be staying away from. Just rock a normal baseball hat, a nice woven hat, even the fedora. Any of that's fine. But yeah, the beanie, that scares me. I don't know how people do that right now.
Or a hoodie. I don't know how people do that either. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah. I mean, maybe they just got an undershirt on under it. So layering can still work, like how you have the layers right now, as long as it's light enough that you're not feeling restricted or too hot.
Right. Yeah, there's a way you can do it, and definitely bundling up right now. I don't think it's probably the greatest of ideas, but to each his own. Just make sure you don't end up having a heat stroke out here, somewhere. So be careful with that. But I would say you definitely look good in the Carolina blue, and definitely looking forward to Tario sports coming up, football coming up, which is a perfect segue as we go into some NFL storylines. We got quite a few as training camp is right upon us, and we already got Cowboys already at training camp. They're in California right now. I'm not sure if the Raiders are already in training camp or their training camp is coming up real soon.
I think it's going to start pretty soon. I don't think it started yet. Okay. Actually, no, it had to have, because they just had Derek Carr getting interviewed by David Carr. So.
Okay. Yeah, and
so
Devontae Adams.
Mini camps going.
Yeah. Devontae Adams got a new home out there in Vegas, which I rode past the Vegas stadium. I'm not sure. I think it's SoFi. Is it SoFi? No, SoFi is the one in LA. I don't know.
Vegas. What is it? I'm not sure. I was about to say Reliant. I think that might be it. The Reliant Stadium.
Oh, it's Allegiant Stadium. But hey, that thing is beautiful. Driving from the airport to the hotel, I was amazed. I would say right now, Cowboys fans, Jerry World fans, it looks better from the outside than Jerry World with the screen on the outside. Didn't go in, but probably the next time I go to Vegas, I'm going in somehow, whatever type of event they got, is to go in and check it out. So we got NFL storylines. Before we get to that, let's get to another quick promo of one of our shows that come on during the week. And this is Snowman in the Morning, which comes in. That's our morning show. They're from 7 to 10 a.m. That is Central Time. And then you can change that based on whatever time zone you're in. But check out this promo. When we get back, we'll talk about some NFL storylines.
Of course, Steph Curry.
Tim Anderson. Yordan Alvarez. And it's caught. Deebo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan can sense.
The Fro just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold, hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, welcome back. One of the first big storylines, Kyler Murray signs an 8-year, $230 million contract with a $29 million signing bonus. So he got paid, in the words of Randy Moss, straight cash on me. Basically, he got cashed out. I'm not surprised, but I do think, and I want you to touch on this too, I do think right now, and I said this on Snowman in the Morning, that players are paid in this NFL based on their potential. They're not paid on what they've done. Because if you pay Kyler Murray based on what he's done, it wouldn't even be half of this because he hasn't won anything. I don't even know if they even won a playoff game, but they're paying for what he can do or what they think he will do in the future. So that's the difference between probably our father's NFL and this NFL. And he got paid big time money. Now, the interesting part of this is in his contract, it said he had to watch a certain amount of film. Now, I don't know if this was a dig on him or if this was, we put this in everybody's contract. But he was upset about it, and it looks like they removed that from the contract. So to talk about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals in this big time deal.
Oh, yeah, and definitely like you were saying, it's a whole different mind state in the NFL as far as contracts. I remember growing up, we're watching Barry Sanders, we're watching Walter Payton, watching Emmitt Smith break their bones to get a new contract. Jerome Bettis never really got paid. These guys playing hard for years and don't get paid till towards the end of their career. Nowadays, it's kind of that, like you said, we're going to give you that money and hope you can live up to the potential, but they are more likely to cut someone. So that would be the one difference I would say that's coming up, is there's not that team loyalty. Growing up as a younger fan these days, it's probably hard for them to like a certain team if they follow it like the NBA and they start liking players more than the team. Then you're gonna have to switch teams every couple of years. So
yeah.
So as far as Kyler Murray though, that was a very surprising contract. I wasn't expecting that out of them for him. I feel like I can name at least 8 quarterbacks that I would consider better than him in the league currently, but it is that potential that they're looking at. Personally, I don't like the baseball guys that switch over to football. Now, not necessarily any other position, but when you're the pitcher in baseball and the quarterback in football, those guys are always, I don't know, they seem a little different to me. They seem like they're really control freaks as far as they want to be doing everything. So
they want control.
Yeah, like they got the 2 most prominent positions on both sports. So it's like it's hard for me to trust a quarterback like that. Now, sometimes it does work in their favor. I think John Elway got drafted. A couple other quarterbacks in the last couple of years played baseball as well. But I feel like it's kind of teetering the line, too, when he never really dedicated to football, but he realized that's where he'll make more money. So I think it's more that opportunity to make the more millions and get that starting spot faster than you would in baseball. Baseball, you're going to grind. You might not ever get to where you're trying to be. And now that I think about it, he's not a pitcher. He's played bases. I think it was infield, second base. Yeah.
He looks like
and shortstop.
Yeah. He looks like a second baseman. He's one of those cats. And the same thing to your point with Deion too. Deion played both, but I think the thing with Deion is he was such a big personality. Like, it didn't matter. Deion could play badminton. He'd probably be the highest paid badminton player, on earth. And I think Deion had that ability to play both at a successful level, and it didn't affect either. Now, he wasn't the greatest baseball player, but when he did play, he brought something to the game. And then we could say the same thing with Bo Jackson. Now, Kyler's not going to play baseball, though, anytime soon. He suited up in that age. That was just for
and maybe that's just me hating because he didn't actually come play for the A's. So,
but I hear you.
But yeah, Bo Jackson and Deion definitely broke that mold as far as playing both sports at a high enough level to where I didn't feel like it took away from either one. So with Kyler, NFL-wise, never really been too much of a fan. So like I said, surprised at his contract. College-wise, I feel like he was a great college quarterback. College systems are way different than the NFL, so it's kind of scatting around, running, doing his own thing. I don't know how long they can sustain that. NFL is definitely more about staying in the pocket. So, the contract with the what was that? The homework clause is what they were calling it. I guess they scratched that because it became so controversial that the next day they took it out of the contract. And just with Kyler overall this offseason, I feel like it's been more about controversies, all types of controversies, rather than his playing ability.
Right. Yeah. I think it has been. And the fact also is that players are asking sooner for the extension. They're not even waiting until their first contract is up. They're talking about this within a couple of years. And I think ideally it does save the team money somewhat, because if they wait longer, kind of like what the Cowboys did, they're going to pay more, and they end up paying $40 million when they could have paid probably 25, closer to what Carson Wentz got. So there's a lot of factors, I think, right now when it comes to what's going on in the NFL in these days compared to older. But I think when it really comes down to it, the players have somewhat more control, and especially when it comes down to when it comes down to the quarterback position is they can demand that they want a deal, and most of the time teams aren't going to say, oh well, we're not going to pay that. They're going to say, okay, we respect this position more than we respect anything else. So I think that's what ended up happening with Kyler Murray. It's not that he's at that level, but they decided to pay him because if they didn't and he left, it's like fear of missing out. They didn't want to miss out.
Especially from the Cardinals, they've had no quarterbacks that were any type of prominent names in almost forever. I'll say maybe the 60s or 70s was the last time they had a quarterback that was actually doing something for them.
It's been a long time.
What was that? That journeyman McCown? McCown did pretty good for them for a couple of years, but if you're saying McCown's your best quarterback in the last decades, like that's not really that good of news right there. So
yeah. And I think the other thing too was, but they had Jake Plummer doing a point in time, and people were thinking, oh, he's going to be the next big thing, and that turned out to really not be that much. So I mean, they're yearning for a quarterback, which Kyler Murray's potential is through the roof, but can he actually do it? I think is obviously, the number one question. So this is one of those things where only time will tell as far as what exactly he's going to do.
And especially with his size, that's one of my biggest things. Is just, I mean, undersized quarterbacks don't really do too well in the NFL. Drew Brees would probably be the best example of someone that sustained their whole career. Even maybe Doug Flutie, but those are so far and separated from each other. It's not the everyday thing that a guy under 6'2" is going to last for a long time as a quarterback. Right.
True. So we'll see what happens with Kyler Murray. I know he is happy. He is, as they say, laughing to the bank with this big time deal that he's got. And I think too, he is going to prove that he was worth it. Do I think that they're going to win a Super Bowl? No, but I do think they will definitely make some noise as the season goes along, and they may end up surprising some people. So we'll see what happens.
And I think I'm hating too, just because the Ravens haven't paid my boy Lamar yet. So I feel like if any quarterback's getting a contract, it needs to be Lamar right now.
That's going to make this very interesting because Lamar, who is going to want to get obviously more than Dak, he's won an MVP. He's going to want more than Kyler. He's won an MVP. Now, he hadn't made it to a Super Bowl, but his past and his potential is higher, I think, than Kyler and Dak. So I don't know. They've been having conversations. So we'll see if we get something before the season starts. Another big time storyline: Russell Wilson went to the Broncos, and can he propel them? Because they've kind of been a Peyton Manning's available. Let's go grab him. And I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to get Aaron Rodgers just because they seem to try to get these older, more experienced quarterbacks to come in here. So they won something we go backwards. They won something with Elway. They won the Super Bowl with Peyton. And then they had these past couple of years with Drew Lock, and they had Teddy Bridgewater was in there. But they bring in Russ, and this Broncos team obviously is not the same. They no longer have Von Miller. Their wide receiving core, I think Cortland Sutton, I believe, is probably their top guy at this point. They also got another guy that he was big time in fantasy. I'm trying to remember what this guy's name is. I'm gonna pull up the roster here, but Alan Patrick, I think is his name.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been following the Broncos too tough, especially them being my rival teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure who their receivers are.
Let me see.
I stay away from them in fantasy too. So
if they're not one of your squads, then you got to shy away from them.
Yeah, I think Ashley Lally was the last guy on the Broncos I ever messed with in fantasy.
Yeah. Now I hear you. That's Tim Patrick. I messed with him in fantasy a little bit. He may have some little flashes, but I think Russell Wilson would do good with the Broncos. Again, ultimately, do I think he will lead them to a Super Bowl? No. But I do think he will win more games than probably the other quarterbacks that they had. But give me your thoughts.
Oh, definitely. Again, it's going to be coming from the side of hate. I don't want to see the Broncos doing too good. So them getting one of the top quarterbacks in the league, another one of those baseball player guys, but he kind of broke the mold. But Russell Wilson definitely brings that winning pedigree, that professionalism, just a lot of things they've been missing. So they still got their veteran, but this time it's a younger veteran that actually can move around. They ain't get the statue guy that's just going to stand in the back of the pocket. They got the guy that might stretch the play for 10, 12 seconds and still win the game. So it is going to be a whole new look team, new look offense. Kind of scary as a Raiders fan seeing what they could be up against. We already got Patrick Mahomes, and we got Herbert stepping up in the Chargers. So they just added some more firepower to our division. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. This adds another thing that y'all got to deal with. I know y'all added Devontae Adams, but you got defense-wise, you got to face two pretty top quarterbacks, potentially future Hall of Famers in both of them. And like you said, Justin Herbert's only going to get better. So could be tough. Could be tough for you guys. No doubt about that. So Russ goes to the Broncos. He pulls up in his I don't know what that was, maybe a Ford 350 or something. And people was ragging on him because he pulled up in his own jersey. I don't really care about that. If I was in the NFL or the NBA, I would probably wear my own jersey too. I mean, especially
how are you gonna wear somebody else's?
Right, exactly. Why would I put somebody else's name? I mean, now if I'm Tom Brady, I don't know if I would wear my own jersey because I may be a little too cocky with the Super Bowls. But if you're pulling into camp and you're trying to make a big impression, why don't you come in with your own jersey on? Like, okay, guys, I'm ready to go. I'm already getting out of the truck, and I'm ready to go. So that's what I got from that. But people just don't like Russ for a variety of reasons, and I don't think it's gonna change, anytime soon. So
Hey, I just saw the headline. It said, "Is Russell Wilson really dripping with whack juice?" Like, dang.
People think he's corny. People think, oh, he's not with the culture, which I think all of that is wrong. I just think he's got his own way of doing stuff, and it's not like may not be the way other people do it, but he is. Obviously, he's married to Sierra. That's one of the things. He's taking care of Future's baby, kid. He's not a baby. He's taking care of baby Future, or a little Future. Like, so what? I mean, I don't get the hate all the time. I do think he's not going to be the guy that people maybe want him to be, but I'm going to be rooting for Russ no matter what. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah, I heard. I think it was Brandon Marshall saying that. No, my bad, not Brandon Marshall. One of the ex-Seahawk quarterback or receivers talking about how it just gives Russell Wilson a bad look in the public eye, but in reality, he is kind of a chill guy, and he's not really concerned with his outward appearance or what people are perceiving of him. He's just out there to do his job and play football. So I got to respect the professionalism. Whatever personal stuff, he might not make the choices I would make, but when he is on the field, he does get the job done, though.
Yeah, and that's in the NFL as a quarterback. That's really all you can ask for. So let's move on to a team not that far from you. One of my childhood favorites, the 49ers, who have reportedly said, this was a reporter, I think it was Rappaport, said that the coach, Shanahan, and Lynch, the GM, had a meeting with Jimmy G, and they said, we are going the opposite direction to Trey Lance. So the question is it now the Trey Lance show, and how will he do as a starter? I think it is a Trey Lance show now. I think the potential of this happening was already kind of brewing. I don't think they totally hate Jimmy G, but he really has not. He hasn't won the big one. Okay, that's some of the reasoning. He also has had injuries, and you don't draft Trey Lance this high, in order to just have him sit for years. And now I do think the better chance for them to win now would probably be Jimmy G, but I think they're like, so what? We can figure out a way to win with Trey Lance. So I am a little surprised because I thought they were just going to hang on to Jimmy G through maybe part of this season, maybe through the trade deadline, because it seemed like they weren't going to move him. But now they do have a task to try to move him or release him. So give me your thoughts on Trey Lance in San Francisco, or Santa Clara now.
Yeah, Garoppolo, I feel like, is the most overhyped quarterback in the last probably 50 years. I've never heard of a quarterback that gets so much praise from the media and chances as this guy. Like you said, he's always injured. He actually plays better as a backup. So he comes in as a backup role and plays way better than he ever has as a starter, I feel like. He's on TV on the commercials all the time. I'm like, what has this guy done? Why am I seeing him on these Subway commercials? But
right.
I think he got a big contract a couple years ago too. So this move doesn't really surprise me. Not being a Niners fan, following them too often, but just knowing kind of this area, I feel like Trey Lance is the way to go. Trey Lance is the future. Trey Lance actually has something to prove. I feel like Garoppolo had his chances. If I was the Niners, I would cut him and just go start fresh. Try to trade him if you could, but I don't see him having too many teams wanting him. Maybe the Panthers, maybe the Texans, but yeah, I feel like this is the time for Trey Lance to get his shot, get the ball moving in the new direction, kind of just rebuild from here.
Yeah. And from what I'm hearing, there's the New York Giants, I think, are reportedly a team that's looking at him. And then there's this article that says one NFL team. He's in talks with one NFL team. And I think, it's the New York Giants is who they're talking about. I think he would be a better backup. If he goes to New York, it's not going to mean anything. That doesn't mean the New York Giants are going to win anything next year with either one of them. Daniel Jones or Jimmy Garoppolo. So, really at this point, there is nothing that he can really do, I think, to propel a team to a Super Bowl, because he's had multiple opportunities. It's not as if he hasn't had any opportunities. He's had multiple, and he just hadn't been able to do it. So, yeah, I'm ready to see what Trey Lance can do. I'm not extremely high on what he can do, especially with the caliber of the other teams. But they've been able to do it with defense and running game. So who's to say that the 49ers can't make it back to the Super Bowl with this team, because it's going to be just as similar as what it was with Jimmy G. So I think that's probably what the 49ers' feelings are. It's not like it's going to be that much different. So
yeah, I feel like Trey Lance is giving them back the Kaepernick type vibes, where you're going to have a nice athletic quarterback that can throw the deep ball. Just looking up right now, I guess the Texans is actually some actual news as far as a potential spot for Garoppolo. They're 7 hours ago talking about maybe a trade to the Texans. And then it looks like yesterday there was a rumor about the Seahawks maybe. So I wouldn't see them trading him in division, but I could definitely see him going to the Texans, maybe even the Panthers to battle it out with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. We'll see. Those are some good spots I didn't even think of. So that's another big time storyline. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get into some of the other storylines in the NFL. We got Tracy Killian, TK Styles 2K20. Make sure to follow on Instagram and TracyKillianStyling.com, and we will be right back.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and what Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens Podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Man, that boy good. That boy Colin Johnson, man, pumping these things out, man.
And I like how it's giving you a little taste of their voices and more of their topics, because I see a lot of the posts on Instagram, but it's kind of like you got to figure out sometimes what certain shows are about. You don't really get to get a feel for their mood or how they carry themselves on the shows, but I've been impressed with every one so far, and it's making me want to watch a lot of these shows more. So
yeah. That's the point, man. Yeah, Cole Johnson, thank you so much. He definitely does a good job. Anything he touches is going to be quality. And I've been interviewed on his show. He's been on Minds, and he's definitely one of those good guys. All right, so another big time deal. Another storyline from this weekend training camp. And the other thing I want to bring up too, players are now doing they used to call it a hold out. They're calling it now a hold in, where they show up to camp, but they say, I'm not going to practice. I don't get that at all, but it seems to work, because DK Metcalf is one of those guys where he said, I'm going to show up to camp, but I'm not practicing. And he gets a 3-year, $73 million deal. It includes a $30 million signing bonus, which is the highest ever for a wide receiver. Again, they're paying for potential. They're not paying for what they did, because if you look at DK's stats, he's only had 1,000-yard season, and truly he's going to be going into no man's land. I don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. So I don't know. He's had 967 yards. 1,300 in 2020, and then he had 900 in 2019. So really, they're paying him to say, okay, we believe in what you can do. And I'm not hating on his money. I'm just saying that that's the difference between now and yesteryears. That what he's done is good. What he's done, is it worth that amount of money? I don't know, but that's for the team, and the team must have that type of money. Probably with the TV deals and all the different things that the NFL has their hands in. But give me your thoughts on DK Metcalf with this another big time deal this week.
So DK definitely, ever since the combine, he was on my target board for the Raiders. As usual, we passed up on a player that I saw some potential in that could have been a star, and we took some other receivers in the past couple seasons, but I saw that potential with him from the beginning. Just his size as a receiver with that speed that he carries, those are always kind of like my prototype receivers that I want to target. If he can run past everyone, plus you could throw any deep ball or jump ball, and he's got it. Can't really beat that. He's also one of the strongest receivers to come out of the draft in a couple of years. So looking at his stats, also, it looks like he has been increasing touchdowns every season, though. So that is a positive, staying in double digits for the last 2 seasons. But it is surprising that he's never even been close to 100 catches. Like, that's crazy to get paid that much and you're not making 100 catches. To me, and last year I had Tyler Lockett on my fantasy instead of DK, because I feel like DK was going to have a down year. So it's kind of tough if you can take the old man on the team and say that he might be a better receiver sometimes too. So
yeah, and Tyler Lockett is one of those, fantasy wise, he's one of those guys where he'll have 4 touchdowns one week and no catches the next week.
I learned about that last year.
Yeah. You learn about Tyler Lockett real quick. I like the guy. I think he's definitely that sneaky wide receiver. And furthermore, the quarterbacks they have on this roster is Geno Smith, Drew Lock, and Jacob Eason. if any one of those three, maybe Drew Lock's going to come away as a starter. I'm sure they're going to have, the training camp battle. But are any of those guys going to be able to get DK those same numbers? And that I would say no. I think yards after the catch, I think is one of his big things because he's so strong and big. But the fact that you had Russell Wilson and now you're going to have Geno Smith, Jacob Eason, or Drew Lock, that's a toss-up. And I think that's going to be, I think, another thing about this contract too.
Also keeping DK happy. He's one of the biggest prima donna receivers in a couple of years. Like he definitely wants the ball. He gets highly upset when he's not getting enough thrown to him. Even if he's dropping them, he's about to come yelling at the quarterback, "You better keep throwing me the ball." So it's a little tough to keep someone like that happy. Russell Wilson probably could keep him a little under control, but I don't see any of those quarterbacks, maybe Geno Smith, being able to relate with him enough to keep him on track. I can see him getting frustrated very easily and kind of having another down year. Not that last year was that down of a year, just the injuries came through, but not continuing to rise where you think you would if you had Russell Wilson still.
Yeah. And so I talked about hold in guys. Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, and Derwin James of the Chargers. Deebo's definitely got to get paid. With what DK just got, Deebo is probably going to get somewhere in that range or even higher. And he's playing a double position. He was doing running back and receiver, so you almost got to give him a little bit more incentive because he's playing two positions. And he is your offense. So we'll see what happens, throughout these next couple of weeks with Deebo and with Derwin James. And I think that's going to be interesting. All right, so let's get to, we got a couple more left here. Let's get to Deshaun Watson. Very interesting. The ruling is going to be coming this week. Supposedly is what they're saying next week. And will he play this season is my question. And I honestly think he will. I just think it's going to be a limited amount. Maybe he may get suspended 6 to 8 games is what I was thinking. But who knows with this NFL? You have no clue what they're going to do. That's the weird part. You don't know if they're going to suspend him for the whole season. You don't know if they're going to suspend him for half the season. They might not even suspend him at all. I don't really know. It seems like they're really trying to figure this out. But I do think he will play, but I think it'll be a limited amount of games. Give me your thoughts on Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah. Kind of like you and my dad talked about, I think last year when this whole thing started kind of blowing up. To me, this is just a real sad situation to see a nice, promising athlete kind of making a couple of wrong choices, associating with the wrong people, burning some of the wrong bridges, and it leading to all this turmoil in his career. This shouldn't even be something I think we're talking about. He should just be playing football. He should be getting ready. He shouldn't really be leaving the team, but obviously he wanted to leave the Texans, and that kind of spurned them, made them feel like they had to, lash out at the guy that wanted to leave. Meanwhile, they dumped off all their other legend players that had been playing there for the last 10 years. So, he saw the writing on the wall, I think, with the way they treated DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt. So he knew time was up in there. It's just really sad to see it go this route. I hope he gets to play, but the way it's looking, like you said, I could see maybe he gets 2-3 games, starts playing pretty nice, and then they're going to say, something new came up, and he's going to have to sit down. So I could see that definitely being the case.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out to my man CJ Boyd. He said, "What's good, y'all? What's good with you? I didn't see the fight. He did have a fight. I believe he had a fight today. So let us know. Let us know how it went. Give us the inside. Tell us that you won." So CJ's a boxer, but he's also in the corporate world as well. So he's doing some of both. And he's on the Elevate podcast, which comes on Thursdays at 7. But good to see you in the chat. He says, I think it's either half the season or no season. I think maybe half, because if you look at what they did with back with Big Ben, I think they gave him 4 or 6, which obviously I don't think that was enough. In the NFL scene, and definitely Goodell is one of those guys where he wants to make a statement. And I agree with what a lot of people have said. Is Deshaun guilty for what he did? That answer's kind of up in the air because he wasn't found guilty. There was a lot of women that started to come out. Did he do something wrong? Yes. Is it wrong enough to be in jail? No, because obviously he's not. But the NFL goes based off of what the public is going to think. And if they don't give him anything, obviously they know they're going to get an uproar, and they don't like going through that, as they've been through it multiple times.
I can see all types of protests and everything.
Oh, yeah. The Browns, they're going to be a bunch of people in Cleveland protesting and walking around the block and everything. He says, Roger is very unfair when it comes towards handing down these punishments. For example, in the NBA, Adam Silver is a no-nonsense type of commissioner. Roger Goodell is real tricky when it comes towards handing down punishments. I agree, he is. He is double two-faced it sometimes, because you don't know what he's going to do. And I think that's why people are so on the edge right now, because they don't know what type of punishment, he's going to give. But time will tell. Like I said, the report that I read is that they're going to be handing something down next week, and I would not be surprised if it's half the season. I would be surprised if it was none. I would definitely be shocked if he gets none, because that would go completely against what the NFL has done, over the past couple situations. So,
and I hate to say it, but Goodell's decisions are always very race biased. I don't like to see that in the NFL these days, but it is.
It's true. It's true.
White players do something, we hear it on the news, but nothing ever happens to them. But we just get allegations about black players, and he's trying to find a way to ruin that guy's career, get him out the league.
Right.
Drag his name through the dirt.
Yeah. Figure out a way to not only affect them in the NFL, but outside of the NFL, with any of their other dealings, any of the other sponsorships or whatever. So yeah, Goodell and Goodell is, people don't understand that Goodell basically works for the owners. He's not a commissioner of the players. That's why they have the NFLPA. He's the commissioner of the owners. So if the owners say, hey, we don't agree with this, or somebody drops a bug in his ear, who knows what he's going to decide to do. But the NFLPA has already said that he should get something for time served, because he didn't play all last year. So it's not as if that. So I kind of agree with him there, and so I think it was very interesting to see with that comment that they made. But they are kind of right. He did not play at all last year, and that was how that went. Let me get to this comment. He says, Ben, so I won my fight, but I didn't even fight. The guy was supposed to fight, backed out last minute, and basically was saying he'd rather skip the tournament to give himself time to train for nationals. I hated this because this would have gave me he's writing some more. But you won, but it was by a guy backing out. So I'm sure that was probably disappointing. Definitely,
especially after the work you put in. So yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, exactly. And he says, because this would have gave me a great ranking with USA Boxing. So yeah, I hate to see that. Hopefully you'll get another opportunity, and it'll be better than this opportunity, and that the guy will show up and not back out. So I hate that happened. But you do have a win. I'm assuming that goes to a win in your win column. But CJ's a good dude, and hopefully you get another opportunity. All right, the last storyline I want to get to is the Bengals went to the Super Bowl last year, the first time since, what was that, 88, 87? Boomer Esiason was the quarterback. Can they duplicate that this year? And that's the storyline as we're going into camp. I would immediately answer that question and say no, because it is very, very hard to get back to the Super Bowl, especially when you're the Bengals. This is be straight up. The Bengals haven't been anything since 1980, whatever that was, with Boomer Esiason, Anthony Munoz, and who was that they had? Ickey Woods. So I mean,
yeah,
it has not happened. But give me your thoughts on these Bengals.
Oh yeah, I always grew up kind of liking the Bengals, just because I didn't like the Steelers. So since they were rivals with the Steelers, I always kind of leaned towards the Bengals. Even in the '90s, watching Boomer when I was a little kid. But they did have that one season when TJ, Chad, and Carson Palmer were kind of doing it.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Pittsburgh took Carson's leg out and was like the first play of the game, something like that. That was bad. But
yeah,
Bengals are just cursed. For me, some reason I always like watching the cursed teams that they can get good a couple times, but I always know something's going to happen. Growing up as a Raiders fan, you know something's going to happen. We can have the best season, we got the best team, but something's going to happen. Tuck rule, something will happen.
Something's going to happen, yeah.
So I'm always kind of leaning towards those underdog teams that always fight, scrap it out, have a couple good seasons here and there, but I can't say that I was not surprised, but I was definitely surprised last year. Like, they came out of nowhere, especially in the AFC. Very tough division. I don't remember who else they beat in the playoffs last year, but they had to beat some really tough teams. Surprised they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a huge surprise.
So, I mean, I feel like that was one of those lucky seasons, not something that you can definitely put your hat on and say, oh, we're going to do this again next year. But they have that nice core of young players. Definitely Jamar Chase stepped it up. He is going to be definitely one of my targets for fantasy this year. I got to try to get that guy. Try to get that guy on the team. So he surprised me as well as a rookie coming out like how he did. Joe Burrow definitely has that confidence. If he can keep that momentum going, then I can see him doing it. The biggest thing with the Bengals, though, is they literally have no defense. Like, they have to outscore every team. So
yeah,
it's hard to go back to back when you're just trying to outscore everyone.
Yeah, that's true. And I think you're right about Joe Burrow. If he's able to keep that same confidence, and I got to say, the dude got some swag too. If he's able to keep that swag, I think they got a shot to make it to the playoffs. I'm not going to say they're going to make it back to the Super Bowl because I just don't think that's going to happen. But I do think they were a big surprise last year, and I think they can build off of what they did last year and hopefully, do something. But will they duplicate last year? No. Will they make it to the playoffs? I would say yes. I'm going to think it's going to be hard, though, because that division obviously doesn't get any – it's not going to be any easier because obviously, you got your Cincinnati and you got your Cincinnati, Browns, who the Browns projected to be better than last year. Steelers, I really don't know. And you got the Ravens. So it's not as if that division is going to get worse. And I think that's why I say they definitely can't duplicate last year.
They might have a shot with the Steelers being on a down year. Browns are rebuilding with Deshaun playing. Definitely boosts them up about 5 more wins. If Deshaun's out, they're going to be at the bottom of the division again. But the biggest thing that opened the door for Cincinnati was that Lamar had a down year last year. That was one of his worst seasons so far. That's not going to consistently happen. Lamar's not going to be injured and miss 5 games every season. If he plays all 16 games, I don't see the Bengals winning the division at all.
Yeah, no. And CJ's got a comment. He said, "Yep, laugh out loud, 5-0. Man, if I would have known this, we would have did our NBA, our top 10 NBA list. Yeah, we were thinking about doing that today, but he had to fight. So coming up, which I'm going to be reaching out to different people. We're planning to do that on the 13th. I believe we said the 20th is when we're planning to do that NBA top 10 list. So CJ is definitely going to be on there. Tracy, if you're free that day, I'd love to get you on there too. It should be a
definitely
really good conversation. He's got another comment here. He says, I think they can go back to the Super Bowl because literally every team they played except the Chiefs, something was wrong, like either somebody was injured or something like that. If I remember correctly, the Chiefs were the only one. Let me see. We're the only one I'll actually give them credit for. But no, I don't think they can replicate it. Yeah. And then he says, can we push it up for next week? We can't do next week because actually we got a surprise. We got a party for somebody. I'll tell you. I'll send you a message because it's a surprise, so I don't say it on air. But yeah, I can't do it next week. And the week after that, that's the weekend of my wife's birthday, so the 20th would be the best. But I'll let you know whose birthday party that is. But I think when the Bengals have, they really started off great. Obviously, this is Burrow's second year, and to be able to do that in their second year, I think that really gives you a high ceiling, and it gives you some excitement. Not only excitement, but it also gives you some high hopes. So I think the fans are going to be definitely looking to duplicate or do better than what they did last year. So it'll be interesting to see.
I hate to put that on him, but to me, it's starting to be like a Dan Marino type vibe to me, where it's like you get all that early success, and then you kind of just think it's going to keep happening every year. And I don't want to see that happen to him. So he's going to have to keep working and get a good team around him. But I feel like that was the problem with Dan Marino. The Dolphins just thought, oh, well, we got Dan Marino, so it doesn't matter what we do. He's going to get us back here every time. And they didn't build around him. They let him kind of try to carry the team. So that early success can also be a big curse because the Bengals may start thinking, oh, he's fine. We don't need to build around him.
Right. And that's a really good point there because Dan Marino, what was that? Was that his second year?
This is his rookie year. I think he went to the Super Bowl
and never went back again. That's wow. That's gotta hurt. And the amount of years that he's played, the amount of records that he had, I don't know if he still has a lot of those because a lot of them are broken. But yeah, that's hopefully this is not that situation because Dan Marino played for 17 seasons. 17 seasons. And he only made it to the Super Bowl once. That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt there. But he's obviously broke a lot of records. He's a Hall of Famer. So, but it feels, you still feel it though when you don't win that one big one. That's why we got so many NBA players and people in all sports. So NFL season's coming up. Training camp has started. There's already storylines going on here in Dallas with the Cowboys and. What do we think about Dak going into this year? They don't have Amari, which Amari went to the Browns. So there's a lot of things to look forward to. I'm excited about with this NFL season coming up. But make sure to follow Tracy TK Styles 2K20 if you haven't already. And we'll be actually coming up on August. In August, we'll have the BS3 Network Awards. This will be the third annual. At first was the BS3 Radio Awards the first two times. And then we had a name change, so we ended up changing it to the BS3 Network. And the award show will be coming up August the 30th at 7 p.m. So make sure to get ready for that. Mark your calendars. And we will definitely have something styled by Tracy. So I'm looking forward to that. And we will definitely be, and he'll be coming up on the show for the NBA Top 10. So if you're tuning in, you want to join that show, you can definitely do that. We will definitely have a great conversation. But any last words you want to leave us with before we get out of here?
Oh no, just thanks to all the viewers. Thanks for BS3 Network. Thanks for you, cuz, giving me this opportunity to be on your podcast with you. Always look forward to it. That NBA show, ooh, that's gonna be a crazy list. Everybody has their top 10. Gonna be a lot of hate coming from some of my people, but that's kind of what I like to do. I like to kind of not go with what you think everyone's gonna say type of deal. I got some of those black sheep guys that you probably wouldn't even think of as the top 10. So
yeah.
Definitely gonna be exciting. Looking forward to it. Gonna probably rewrite my list a couple times. Make sure I get to the true top 10.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And you know, my Chris, one of my best friends, you know, my college roommate, he came out with a list, and then my other college friend Joe came out with a list. So hopefully I can get those two on. That'll make the conversation even better because we're kind of the old heads. You got the LeBron people, you got the Jordan people, then you got the older cats. Which maybe if I could get my dad on there, that would be great because his list will probably be different. So I'm gonna be recruiting some people for that show. So definitely, I'll be on the lookout for that. CJ said,
yeah, Unc, if you're watching, get on there.
Yeah, I may have to say, hey man, I know you got to get up on Sunday, but at least come on here and get a list in. I would love to get him on that. He said, CJ said, that hurts me, man, for real. You know, that lives in Dan Marino's head rent free. Yeah, man, you cannot, I'm sure you can't get past that, man. As much as you want to, I'm sure you can't get past that. Yeah. He said, being aware, is it at the Omni? I'm about to send you a text in a minute. He said then you have to promote the episode of Top 10. It's going to be a funny episode. I can already tell, you know it's going to be funny. What he said, being your dad finna say Jerry West, the best point guard to ever live. No, he is not. I guarantee you he will not say that. Nah.
I can't see my uncle saying nothing like that.
My dad list gonna be all black. I'm guaranteeing you that. Larry Bird may be the only white boy on there, but he's gonna be all black on that list. He says your list is already invalid because you got Pistol Pete in there.
Hey, I said I'm about to rewrite it. Hey, that was on the fly. That was just a little freestyle list right there.
Yeah, but yeah, man, we got that coming up. I will not have a show next week. As far as late night with BS3, there will not be one the week after. But the 20th, be on the lookout for that, and then the 30th we'll have the BS3 Network Awards at 7. I'll have a flyer that I'll have created. I'm already pushing it out on social media, so you guys will be able to see that. Let me see if I actually have it right here real quick while we are talking. But this will be the 3rd annual. The first one, you know, we started off with like plastic awards. The last year we had nicer, and this year you guys definitely gonna be excited to see those because we stepped it up even further. We're gonna have a variety of different categories, just like we did over the past couple years. So you definitely do not want to miss that. It'll be live on YouTube. So it's gonna be via Zoom. So we only go live on one platform on Zoom, but we'll have that coming up. We'll have the podcast of the year. We'll have the supporter of the year. So that is going to be something that I'm definitely looking forward to. And here it is, 3rd annual, Tuesday, August the 30th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be on the BS3 Network YouTube channel. All right, let me give a shout out here to Danielle Jones. Thank you for tuning in. Says, good evening, everyone. Blessings. I appreciate that. Thank you. It said, Ben, you fitting pull out the Academy Awards? Nah. We're not doing that. We're not doing Academy Awards, but we will have something nice. So definitely be on the lookout for it. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Late Night with BS3. Another great show. Thank you, Tracy, for coming on as you do. And we will be back when we see you. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Make sure to follow Tracy, TK Styles 2K20. Follow BS3 Network, all avenues of social media, BS3 Network. You can find me as well on social media on Facebook, Ben Sutter III. Send me a friend invite. Hopefully we got some friends in common, because if we don't, I may hit decline if I don't know who you are, because I'm not trying to get spammed in this 2022. So we'll be back and better than ever when we see you next time. Peace. Have a great night.